Chaitanya Lilaho Tanyo Hadivyasa Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namai Bhakta Shaktikam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Sri Gadadhar, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnana Tirunandasya Dhananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Umnitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Okay, today we are continuing with Caityna Bhagavat and we are doing chapter 8. And in this chapter, I don't think we'll do, should we do a quick summary? Yeah, in this chapter, what we are doing is now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has gone back to school. If you remember last time, his parents did not want him to go to school because they were afraid if he becomes so learned, he will leave home and he will take sannyas just like his brother. And they wanted to, let him become an ignorant so that he does not leave home. And then he refuted that. He did, he sat on a pile of broken pot, and there, he was instructing his mother, that this is not the way it should be. And then he make his way, and then he forced everybody. Everybody agreed now he has to go back to school. And then he went to school, and now his father, what happened, was actually appreciating how, we will see, how he's spending much of his time studying. And now we see that he's challenging everybody. He's even challenging his own teacher, Gagandas Pandit, and even Murari Gupta and all that. And now we'll continue text 59, and we'll see how he will put argument forward, and then he will refute it, and then he will ask his friend to challenge him, without hesitation, like a very proud person. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not supposed to be a proud person, but this is the way it is, because he's displaying his scholastic pastime right now. Okay, let's continue. Text 51, no? Yes, text 51. Anybody probably what you will share?
Yes, I'll share. Barsana Mataji, it's 353, not 462.
Yes, Prabhu. Thanks.
Anyone want to read?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bharat Prabhu. Go ahead, Bharat Prabhu.
Go ahead, Prabhu. Please. Prati Gate Padu Yara Anta Nahi Pai Thakura Kalah Kare Prati Thani Thani. At each ghata there were innumerable students, and the Lord debated at every ghat. Prati Ghate Yaya Prabhu Gangayas Santari Eko Ghate Dui Chari Danda Kridakari. The Lord swam to each ghat and enjoyed debating there for 1 or 2 hours. Yata Yata Pramanika Paduyara Ghana Tara Bole Kalaha Kalaha ki karana. The senior students asked the boys, why are you arguing? The word Pramanik means knowledgeable, mature, principal or expert. Jignasa karah buji kara kara kona buddhi vritti panji tikara ke jane dekhi shuddhi. Let us see who can explain the proper forms of vritti, panji.
Prabhu, which verse is this? I'm not able to follow this in the PDF.
54. It
54.
starts with G, Jignasa. It's G-I, G.
Prabhu, on PDF, page number
Here.
352,
Here
last
it is,
verse.
Prabhu. This one, yes.
Didn't we do this Prabhuji last time?
I thought we did this, no?
I think we did until 60.
Yeah, we did until 60.
You sure?
Yeah, and then we have to start from 61.
You want me to go on anyways?
Yes, just go on.
Just go on, just go on.
Let us see who can explain the proper forms of Vritti, Panji, and Tika. Vritti is the brief explanation of a verse. Tika is the expanded explanation of a verse. And Panji is a poetic description of a subject. Previously, Kayasthas used to write Panji. On the Kalap grammar composed by Sarva Varma, there is a Tika written by Susen Vidyabhushan, a Panji written by Trilochan Das, and Vritti written by Durga Simha, that are all very famous. Gangadas Pandit taught Kalap grammar to his students, headed by Nimai. The word Shuddhi means the pure form, the real truth, the purport, and the confidential truth. Prabhu bole bhala ei katha haya jignasu ka amare yahar chite laya. The Lord replied, yes, good. You can ask me anything you like. Keha bole eta kene kara ahankara. Prabhu bole jignasaha ye chite tomara. One student asked him, why are you so conceited? And Nimai replied, ask me whatever you like. Dhatu sutra vakhanaha bole se paduya. Prabhu bole vakhaniye shunamanadiya. The same student then said, explain the sutras on verbal roots. The Lord replied, listen attentively to what I say. Sarva Shakti Samanvita Prabhu Bhagavana Karilena Sutra Vyakhya Ihaya Pramana. The all-powerful Supreme Lord Vishwambar then explained the sutras according to the prescribed grammatical rules. The word Praman means perfect evidence or faith. Vyakhya Shuni Sabe Bole Prasamsa Vachana Prabhu Bole Ebe Shuna Kariye Khandana. Hearing his explanation, everyone praised him. The Lord then said, now hear me refute these explanations. Yat Vyakhya Kaila Taha Dushila Sakala Prabhu Bole Sthapa Ebe Kara Ache Bala. After the Lord refuted each of his explanations, he then asked, now who can re-establish these explanations? Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu. Any comment?
Yeah, so as we discussed that, the superior knowledge came from ancient Bharatvarsh, and then it spread it all over the world. As explained in text 54. Yeah, like poetries, verses, grammar, etc. All originated from Bharatvarsh. Having knowledgeable personalities like Gangadas Pandit, Durga Simha, and so forth. Yeah, probably that's what I get from it.
Yeah, thank you. As you may recall that, or in Navadvip there's a lot of ghat, meaning that along the bank of River Ganga, there are many places where people go. Some take their bath, some do their rituals, some take water, and many where the children they meet. But there are different places. And like now we can see that when Chetma Prabhu has some close friend that he go and play together. And when they play, they make a lot of mud. Then people that come and take bath there, they won't be able to take bath. The girls that come to take water, they won't have clean water to take. And as we saw last time also, sometimes they're going to complain about that as well, because he's very naughty. And now what he's doing on top of what he was doing before, and he still continue to do, now what he's doing, after taking the bath with his friend, wherever he goes, there are other kids or other grand person also in this ghat. There he will challenge them. He will challenge them on many things, on what he has learned, and then when he challenged them, as we just read now, he's very proud. He does not talk in a very respectful way as well. He challenged them in a very with a lot of pride. But sometimes people will ask him why he's like that, and he still tell them, "Tell me, just ask me," like that. This is a way he talked to them. Normally, even sometime when you're very learned, you're very humble. But he was not humble. He was challenging everybody left, right, and center. And every ghat he will go like that, and he will do the same thing. He will, make a mess in the water and then come out and then challenge. But this is the age he's like that. Anyway, there's a reason why he's like that. Later we'll see Brihaspati in the form of somebody else will come, and he will, he will defeat them. And this is a purpose of this Leela as well. Anyway, let's continue. Somebody else want to continue? Text 61.
I can read what Prabhu.
Okay.
Chamatkara sabbe bhavena mane Prabhu bole sunae kariye stapane. Everyone there was struck with wonder as Nimai said, "Now hear me re-establish those explanations." Unahena vakya karilena Gora Chandra Sarvamate Sundara Kothao Nahimanda. Sri Gorachandra then again established those explanations in such a wonderful way that no one could find any fault. The word manda means fault, excuse, or error. Yata sabe pramanika paduyara gana santo se sabe karilena alingana. All the senior students then embraced Nimai in satisfaction. Paduya sakala bole agigare yaha kaliye jignasitaha balibare chaha. The other students said, today you can go home and tomorrow we will have more questions for you. E mata prapti dina janva vira jale vaikunta nayaka vidya rase kelak ele. In this way, the Lord of Vaikunta enjoyed his pastimes as a student playing in the waters of the Ganges. E krida lagiya sarva ja viraspati sisya saha navadvipe haila uttapati. To assist in his pastime, the omniscient Brihaspati took birth in Navadvip along with his disciples. The word Sarvajna is another name of the original Vishnu Swami. He appeared as Chandanavana Kalyanapura. He appeared at Chandanavana Kalyanapura in the province of Pandya. He is the first Vaishnava Acharya in the age of Kali. He defeated the philosophy of Buddhism and brought Sri Jagannatha Deva to Sundarachala. 300 years before Christ, a king named Vijaya Pandya took birth. When this Pandya king returned to his province after conquering Sri Purushottama, the Buddhists returned Lord Jagannath to Nilachal. A few hundred years later, during the reign of Sundara Pandya, he was reminded of the place where Lord Jagannath was brought while going to conquer the northern provinces. That place, known as Sundarachala, later became known as Gundika. Shortly before this incident, a disciple of Shankaracharya named Padmapadacharya built a matha at the place known as Chattarboga. Later on, this matha was shifted to the shore of the ocean by Sri Ramanacharya. There is a book named Sankeshpa Sariraka in the Sankara Sampradaya that is said to be written by Sarvajñatma Muni. But this Sarvajñatma Muni cannot be the Sarvajña Muni who established the philosophy of Sudadvaita. There is another Sarvajña in the Jain Sampradaya as well. In the disciplic succession of Sarvajña Muni, there were many disciples, including Brihaspati. Jala krida kare Prabhu sisya gana sange snane gorangara upare ya range. While sporting in the Ganges, the Lord and his friends would sometimes swim to the other side. The word Gangara, upare, refers to Kulia, or the present-day city of Navadvip. Bahu Manorata Purve Achila Gangara Yamunara Dekhi Krishna Chandera Vihara. Seeing the good fortune of the Yamuna in obtaining the association of Lord Krishna, the Ganges had cherished the desire for the same opportunity. Kabe hebe kamora Yamunara bhagya Niravadi Gangaye Balilena Vyaka. The Ganges constantly prayed, when will I be fortunate like the Yamuna? Yadya piha Ganga aja bhavadi vandita tatha piha yamunara se vanchita. Although the Ganges is worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, she nevertheless still desires the good fortune of Yamuna. Hari Bol.
Very well. You want to say anything, Prabhu?
Again, here it's a continuation of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as a student, learned student, and his fellow students, they always try to question him in any way. He always had answers because he was showing that very nature of a very he had a very nature to debate, and they pose questions to him and he answers them, and he again refutes them, establishing how learned he was. And he also reminded me of something that, when we go forward after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu's attitude completely changed. Here he's showing arrogance and all that stuff, and then when he took initiation and all that, he became completely humble. And then the last thing is, Yamuna Maya was very fortunate because Lord Krishna's lotus feet touched her, and Ganga wanted the same thing. She was hoping for the thing, and she got benefit by Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Like Prabhu is saying, I will use this word, arrogance and pride that he has. Sometime you won't believe, like, these people, they were appreciating it at the end of the day. Even though he was like that, he was like challenging them, and initially they did not like it. And then when they saw that he's really good in arguing, in putting his thought forward, and then they said, wow, this young person is really, really learned. And don't forget, he's very handsome as well. When somebody is handsome, intelligent, he's very attractive. And he is really like putting them in such a way that now they already forgot that he was arrogant and pride. Now they forgot about this. Now they're appreciating his argument. Yes, this person is very, very learned. And then, as I say, they forget. Now they're in a different mood, and they said, okay, we'll meet again tomorrow, we'll continue. They're not seeing it in a very bad way at the end of the day. They are very, very happy with all this argument going around. And now, as an embellishment in all the Leela of Krishna as well, sometimes the demigod, they come, they take a role of a villain in a way to put like some spice in the pastime. Now we see that Brihaspati is coming. He will come just to add some spice, like we say, some masala in the in the pastime to make it interesting. Okay, let's continue. Somebody else want to continue?
I can read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Says this Vancha Kalpatru, right?
Yes, text, yes, 21.
Vancha Kalpatru Prabhu Shri Gaura Sundara Janvira Vancha Purnakare Nirantara. Lord Gaurasundara is like a full wish fulfilling tree that constantly satisfied the desire of the Ganges. Kari Bahuvidha Krida Janvira Jale Grihe Ailena Gaura Chandra Kohutale. After enjoying various pastimes in the waters of the Ganges, Sri Gaura Chandra joyfully returned home. Yatha Vidhi Kari Prabhu Shri Vishnu Pujana Tulsi Re Jala Diya Karena Bhojana. The Lord then worshipped Vishnu according to regulation, and after washing Tulsi, he took his meal. Bhojana kariya matra prabhu shekshane, pustakalaya giya vasena nirjane. Immediately after taking his meal, the Lord took his books and sat in a solitary place. Apane karena prabhu sutrera tippani, bhulila pustaka rase sarva deva mani. The Lord, who is the crest jewel amongst the demigods, fully absorbed himself in his studies and composed his own commentary on the sutras. The word Sutrera Tippani refers to the commentary on the commentary of Katantra Sutra composed by Sarva Varma. The phrase Sarva Deva Mani means the Lord of the Lords. Dekhiya Anande Bhashe Mishra Mahashaya Ratri Dine Harishe Kichuina Janaya. Seeing his son studying attentively, Jagannath Mishra floated in an ocean of happiness and forgot whether it was day or night. Dekhite dekhite Jagannath putra mukha, niti niti paya anirvanchiya sukha. Every day Jagannath Mishra felt indescribable happiness on seeing the face of his son. The word niti niti means regularly or daily. Yemate putrera rupa kare mishra pana sharira sayujya hailaki batana. Sri Mishra drank the nectarian beauty of his son's form in such a way that it appeared he had merged his body with the Lord. The word Sharire Sahuji are explained as follows. When a conditioned soul is freed from the gross and the subtle bodies or designations, he attains the liberation of Brahma Sahujya, or merging with the Brahman, or in other words, he becomes dormant. This is the conclusion of the impersonates. But Jagannath Mishra is non-different from Vasudev, the shelter of Vatsalya Ras in the transcendental realm of Golok, beyond the material creation. He was so absorbed in seeing the beautiful form of Gaura, the personality of Godhead, as his son, that he continually remained merged in an ocean of bliss. Ordinary people did not consider him as Vasudev, the personification of pure goodness. They considered him a conditioned soul, fit for Sahujya Mukti like themselves. In fact, they considered Jagannath Mishra had already attained Sayujya Mukti, the state of becoming dormant in his present gross and subtle bodies. But according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 6.268, a pure devotee does not like even to hear about Sahujya Mukti, which inspires him with fear and hatred. Indeed, the pure devotee would rather go to hell than merge into the effulgence of the Lord. Also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 9.267, pure devotees reject the 5 kinds of liberations. Indeed, for them, liberation is very insignificant because they see it as hellish. In this regard, one should refer to the descriptions of the pure devotional service performed by Rishadeva's son Bharat, as narrated by Sri Sukhdev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.14.44. Descriptions of Sahujya Mukti are found in the Madhva Sampradaya's philosophy of Shuddha Dvaita. Unless there is a reciprocation between the worshipable Supreme Lord and his servants, the mood of the worshipper and worshipable cannot exist. Therefore, the Sahujya Mukti referred to here is the attainment of the lotus feet of Vishnu. It certainly does not refer to becoming one with the Lord or merging with Brahman. Sahujya Vakon Aupadhi Sukha Tane Sahujyadi Sukha Mishra Alpakari Mane. Jagannath Mishra, however, considered the happiness of merging with the Lord to be most insignificant. The word kon means for what use. The word tane means to him, for him. The word Aupadhi Sukha refers to the happiness derived through one's gross and subtle bodies from one's temporary sense gratification and desire for liberation. This is nothing like the happiness experienced by the Atmarams or self-satisfied souls from their unalloyed service to Gaura Krishna. The word Alpa means tiny, insignificant, or pseudo. It is stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 6.44 and 7.85, 97 through 98. The conception of servitude to Sri Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it. For a devotee who has actually developed bhava, the pleasure derived from dharma, artha, kama, and moksha appears like a drop in the presence of the sea. compared to the ocean of the transcendental bliss that is tasted by the chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. The pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization, Brahmananda, is like the shallow water in a canal. My dear Lord, O Master of the Universe, since I've directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness to be like the water contained in the hoof print of a cow. In the chapter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describing the glories of pure devotional service, it is stated, Manang eva prarudhyam hriday bhagavat ratau purushasarthastu chatvaras trinayate samantaha. Any person who has developed even a little quantity of pure devotional service can very easily kick out all other kinds of happiness derived from religiousness, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Brahmanando bhaved esha chet parardha gunikritah naiti bhakti sukham bodhe parmanu tulam api. If Brahmanand, the bliss of merging in the Brahman effulgence, were multiplied 100 trillion times, it would still not equal even an atomic fragment of the ocean of the transcendental bliss felt in devotional service. Sridhar Swami is written in his Bhavartha Dipika as follows. Virtuous people who joyfully relish recitation of your sweet pastimes consider the four goals of human life to be insignificant. The mind absorbed in bhakti, without desire for insignificant things, bring people to life with prema. Those devotees who are absorbed only in the service to the lotus feet of Krishna have no desire for liberation. One may refer to the following verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.4.15, 25, 34, 36, and so forth. Jagannath Mishra Paya Bahu Namaskara Ananta Brahmanda Natha Putra Rupe Yanra. I offer unlimited obeisances at the feet of Sri Jagannath Mishra, whose son was the Lord of innumerable universes. Hari Bol. So yeah, Prabhu, I think here it's described how nicely Gaurasundara, Lord Gaurasundara is studying, and after coming bathing in the Ganges, he is like a wish-fulfilling tree. It's like a Kalpatru tree who is fulfilling the wishes of Ganges. So Yamuna had the good fortune in Krishna Leela, where she was able to serve Lord Krishna. Now Ganga has the good fortune of serving Gaurasundara. So like a wish-fulfilling tree, Gaurasundara has fulfilled the wishes of Ganga. And after coming from taking bath in the Ganga, he's praying to Vishnu and taking his meal. And after that, he's nicely studying and seeing the face of Gaurasundara, his father, Jagannath Mishra, is deriving so much pleasure. And while studying, Gaurasundara also used to do the commentary on the commentary of various scriptures. And Jagannath Mishra's pleasure was so much, people thought it is like he is having this, he is having the Sahujya liberation. But again, he is a pure devotee, he is Vasudev. So it's not that he wants the Sahujya Mukti, but basically here it is described in the purports and stuff that it's so insignificant, the Sahujya Mukti, the impersonal thing, because even it is like 1 trillion times lesser than the one drop of devotional service. And then Vrindavan Thakur is bowing down to Sri Jagannath Mishra because in his court his son Gaurasundara is growing up, and who is the Lord of innumerable universes.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Very good. And just wanted to add something important here is, sometime when we do our sadhana, we don't know exactly what we want. It's important to know what you want exactly, because I'm not saying exactly, but you have to understand what is the goal. I think in one of the class we did last time, I was trying to reorientate, and it's not a question that no, I don't want this, or it's too high for me, or I don't know, maybe I will come back in this world. All this is fine, yes, but the goal should be clear. What is a goal? Here also you see, he said that liberation, like artha kama moksha, dharma artha kama moksha. Moksha is liberation, and sometimes we are confused about liberation. Liberation does not mean that we go to Krishna. Liberation mean we go in the Brahma Jyoti with no identification. Then this is not something that we want. Of course, sometimes maybe we don't know, we're not educated enough to know where we want to go. But the goal should be clear, that we want to serve. The serving is important. We don't want to get liberation in Brahman Jyoti. We don't want to become one with God, or we don't want to become like God. Like some like to go even in Vaikuntha, you get the same bodily features as Lord Vishnu. Four-arm Vishnu. You become like Vishnu. Anyway, you can, but the highest is to be a servant of Krishna. And the highest of the highest is to be the servant of Radha and Krishna in the Leela of Radha and Krishna. And to aspire to become a servant, this is what we just read, is like, this other type of liberation is minute, the pleasure. Okay, we're not looking for the pleasure, but it's minute compared to be a servant rather than to become like God or to have the features of God. This is very important. And also in the previous class we did also, I mentioned that is sometimes it can seem to be unattainable. It's like a goal which is beyond our reach. Yes, it is beyond our reach. But if you have the right association, you have the right guide, guru, and you are in the right path, sampradaya, this, which is unachievable, as it said in this text also, it become, it's like a vast ocean that you have to reach that place. It's beyond our minute step to cross it. But if with the mercy of Guru and Krishna, this big, like tremendous infinite ocean become like a tiny, like when a calf walk, the hoof print full of water, you can just cross it. This is a mercy of Guru and Krishna. And this is important to understand that even though it's beyond our reach, but if you have the right association, a right guidance via Guru, we just have, like Srila Prabhupada said, just hang on my dhoti. He said that to his disciple. And some disciple was saying like, oh, Prabhupada is so difficult. How will we do that? Even chanting the 16 round was the same thing. It was 64, then it becomes 32, then it became 16. Because the devotee was saying, we can't, we can't do that, we can't do that. Then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, 16, this is a minimum. If you chant 16 round, follow the four regulative principle, this is achievable. Okay? The same thing, and then Srila Prabhupada said, okay, just hang on my dhoti. That's what we have to do. If we hang on the dhoti of our Guru, who is hanging on the dhoti of his Guru, which is Srila Prabhupada, who is Srila Prabhupada, then of course we will be like, when you fly a kite, when the kite, there's a, how do you put the tail? If you hang on the tail, the kite is going, you will go there. Anyway, kite is maybe a very fragile thing you can hang on, but if Srila Prabhupada said to hang on his dhoti, then this is what we have to do. Don't think it's unachievable. It is achievable depending on your faith, and this is what we should do. We have to have complete faith in the word of Srila Prabhupada. Of course, and we know that reading the book, and this book is, the purport is from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That means we are reading the book what was commented by Srila Prabhupada Guru. And we are the grandchild of Srila Prabhupada. We know that normally, the grandparent, they spoil the grandchild, no? You know that? Who does not know that? I think everybody knows that. Now, we are the grandchild of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. If you see that we are reading this book, every Thursday, he must be very happy, I'm telling you, because he put a lot of effort in doing this book. And now we are assembled together and reading it. And that means his effort is not in vain. That means he must be very happy, even though we don't understand, we don't have the understanding. But by his mercy, we will have the understanding. Just have faith, because faith is the most important thing. And I had a discussion with somebody during the day, and this faith, when it transforms into love, then this is the goal. Because in the beginning, it's faith, and as we know, the 9 process of bhakti is a transition of faith from one state to the higher state. But at one point, it is a faith, and at the last point, it's prema bhakti, is the highest love. This is what I'm talking about. That love, maybe in the beginning, it's not there. Just like when somebody make an arranged marriage, most of you has most probably gone for an arranged marriage. There was no love marriage, but your parent did it for you or somebody else. And then by being together and by living together, having faith each in other, then the love developed. Of course, now imagine the love of Krishna is even higher. If it was between two mundane people, now, if we revive our, okay, the soul is always awake, but we really re-identify ourselves, not as a body, as a spirit soul who is eternal, and then with the, when we talk about Paramatma sometime, we said Paramatma and then Bhagavan. Paramatma is still in the form of something that we can't, reciprocate too much. But in our Sampradaya, we talk more about Bhagavan, Krishna. That means we know that he has a form, he can reciprocate with you as a person. Then this soul reciprocate and together with Krishna, then this relationship will grow. Of course, we can't do it on our own, but through the chanting, through the association, through the reading, all this will happen. And I think it's important that we every now and then we remind ourselves what we are doing every day and why we are doing it every day, because it can become very mechanical at one point in time. We wake up, we do our round, we do our arti, we offer our food, we go to work, we come back, we eat prasad, we pay obeisance, it become a routine. It's good, it become part of our life, but it's very important to have this reminder every now and then to understand why we are doing it, whether it's changing us, whether our heart is getting stirred and is getting soft, and the love is awakened in the heart. This is very important. Every now and then, just remind yourself, if this is not happening, then there's a problem. Then, maybe we have to be more conscious while we are chanting. You have to be more attentive. Or maybe we have to talk with one of our Guru Bhai, friend here on the call, talk, reveal your mind. As Rupa Goswami said, revealing in confidence and inquire, then thing will happen slowly. Anyway, it's already 8:51, and maybe we can do. You want to do one more? One more round? Or maybe we'll leave it for discussion. 8 minutes will go very quick. Okay, let's stop here for today. And like what we just discussed, if anybody wanted to add anything there or want to expand on it and to share your realization and how you are keeping this, how you remind yourself every time, every now and then. Maybe you can share your techniques, and so that somebody else can use it, because sometimes if we don't, we have get a very interesting way, a technique to remind ourselves, then it can be shared. Maybe I will ask Jansagaranga Prabhu, and maybe he can share with us.
Well, I'm very fallen, but I because of my conditioning and all that, I have to constantly beg for the mercy. Constantly beg for the mercy of the Lord. And
Prabhu, I think we can stop the live.
Okay, just hold on.